Hello everybody, just got back from the plots and we've been completing the compost corral. So the compost corral is now complete, resplendent with its new roof, so you'll be seeing that in this video. Also, unfortunately, the battery power went on the camera, so I couldn't, so it's sort of like, it cuts off at the end of a segment, but then I couldn't complete the planting of the garlic and the onions, which is at the back end of this video as well. But suffice it to say, we amended the soil before that garlic went in. The only thing that's not on it is that we amended the soil with some garden lime and also some bloodfish and bone before we put the onions and garlic in there. Mixed it all in dead well with a fresh batch of the compost that we created this year on the plot. Of all the garden waste, etc., the household vegetable waste and all of that stuff that was in the composting bin outside the front door of the greenhouse, that compost has gone into that bed as well. I limed it because of the club root issue that if you're a long-term viewer, the club root issue that we've got there. Also, garlic and onions, they don't mind a bit of lime, they don't mind a bit of alkaline soil. So yeah, so that's gone in there, there's amendments gone in there, but you don't catch that at the end of this video. But it does show you in this video the start to finish of that compost corral that I've been doing, complete with its roof. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it. Like I say, apologies for the cutout at the end, but it's a vlog. Okay, and tomorrow's will be much better. On tomorrow's, you will catch up with that tomorrow anyway, and I'll see you later on. I hope you enjoy this video. Alright, see you after. Bye. See you now. Right, so the compost corral, we'll get some more timbers in to the sides of it here, and just make it a little bit more robust and a little bit more closed in. Because obviously there's too many holes in that and all the compost would fall out. So we're going to do that and support the sides, and then we're going to put some chicken wire on the insides of it and some of that plastic sheeting that you can see there to go over the top of it. Now I've used that sky blue plastic sheeting because I got it for free off a friend, just to patch up the side of that poly greenhouse. Now I know it's opaque and therefore the light won't be really passing through it, but it's just a temporary measure really, just to keep the weather out for the next couple of months. Inside there we're going to be having some plant starts and some growing going on inside there on the benches in buckets. Well, that's a tale for another day. And so yeah, let's get this done. Okay, yeah, so I've got all those 6-foot boards that I took off the big pallet up at the top. And there's a couple more boards there that I can reclaim from off of that. And there's 2 or 3 that I can still get off that. And they're 6-foot lengths by about 3 or 4 inches. I'll measure it in a second or two. And that's what we're going to be using to fill in the gaps on this. Okay, I've switched the radio off as well. I keep forgetting about copyright and stuff like that, so I've turned it off. So there won't be any infringements, hopefully. So those 6-foot lengths I've cut in half, so they're 3 feet in length, and they're going to be going into the gaps. Yep, so all the infill boards are in, and so you've got a lot smaller of a gap there. It's probably about 15 millimetres ish of a gap between the boards as they go around. So the next step then is to attach the chicken wire to that, which we'll do. Hi Asti. Okay, and that's the corral. That front piece that I put on there is the last of the pallets. So all I've done with that really is I just sheeted it on the inside, stapled the 1000 gauge sky blue poly on the inside of it, and the chicken wire is on the inside too, as you can see there, all the way around.
what that's going to do is just hold the debris inside there better, but still allow air to flow through into the pile. The sheet that I've sheeted out the back with is a flap that will over the pile, so that's going to be put over the top of the pile to stop it getting too wet, too damp, hopefully. But you know me, it's not as aesthetically pleasing as it needs to be, so there might be a roof going on it. Only a basic roof going on top of that. And if the roof does go on that, then there's going to be a small water butt to collect the water that comes off that. But I'm just toying with that idea, really, at the moment. See you, Steve. Oh, I thought you were going.
Not going yet.
Hey, so yeah. Now this frontage piece is screwed on. Again, that might be that might get hinges and become a proper door. But for the time being, it's just got 4 screws that are holding that in. So what I'll do is I'll fill it up with the manure. As you can see, there's just 4 screws, one at each corner, just holding that on at the front there. And I'll just fill it up now with the compost. I've left the floor open so all the worms can get in and the drainage can seep away, which is what you're supposed to do. And hopefully this will be a winner. Okay. Yeah, so it's about 1/3 full of the horse dung, and then the last of the stuff that we've not been able to eat, basically. We've taken that out, shredded it all up, ripped it up to pieces, and piled it on. A couple of bits of tissue paper there, not been used for wiping noses or anything like that, just for drying my hands with, and that's going in as well. So I'll shut that off now, cover it over, and keep topping it up, turning it over with the fork every week or two to mix it all in, and move the outside inside, the inside outside, all of that kind of stuff that you're supposed to do. And yeah, fingers crossed. Should have black gold for springtime, easy. Yep, so there's the compost corral. Not sure about this cover. It's gonna get a roof on it, you know it is. But it's gonna work, that. Can't see why it shouldn't. You've got the aeration at the sides to let the air in. It's going to be turned every fortnight or so anyway. Now that's covering the majority of it, but the water will still get in. It's not. I don't think that's not going to work. Not too chuffed about that, really. It's not aesthetically pleasing or fit for purpose. So what I'll do is I'll put about 18-inch high little posts at the back there, a little frame, and then let the pitch come down to the front and let it just drain off at the front. That'll look better. You know, have it sticking out about a couple of inches either side of that, the roof. Stick that on. Might even hinge the roof so you can lift it and prop it. Lift it up and prop it up or something like that. But yeah, it's just going to be a little bit bigger than the corral that I've made, the area of the corral. Get that a little bit higher up. I'm just going to sheet it out with this stuff again. Make a frame, sheet it out with that stuff, and just have that as the roof. And there you go. Just to keep the rain off. Too much rain getting in is not going to be beneficial, I don't think, for the heat. Okay, right. So that was us. That's a Sunday. That's only took about an hour and a half, something like that, because I've been chatting as well. So it took about an hour and a half altogether to do it, and that's with yesterday's as well. It took us about half an hour yesterday and about an hour today to do it. So that's it. That's the bit done. Just done that. Sheeted off the side of the poly greenhouse. That's me. Do a bit of tidying up now. That's it. Okay, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful week, and don't work too hard. Alright, keep growing with your head down as usual. Alright, bye-bye everyone. Bye. There's a little farmer, and he's carrying a little frame up, and yeah, where he's going is up to the top, where the compost corral is. And we've just made that, haven't we, mate? Oh, you bet you don't know where that's going, do you?
No,
It's going right at the back, that. Down here. And we screw it in. And then that's the back, and then the slope will come down there. It's only going to be a gentle slope, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are you doing, climbing in with the horse poo? You don't want to be doing that.
That Mr. Worm.
Yeah, we just put a couple of worms in there, don't we?
We put 2.
To do a good job.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's the backstop, and we'll screw that down, and then we'll run the runners off from that.
I remember when we put the horse poo in.
So, that's a bit more aesthetically pleasing, isn't it? So what we've done here is we've just put basically a slight pitched roof on it. Dead simple. That frame that you saw James carrying up earlier is underneath there. Basic rectangular frame at the back that we've screwed on. Should have pilot drilled these. But it's all scrap wood, this, anyway, so we got it for nothing. It's the same with these on top. You know, 3/4 inch ply there that we've got for the top. That was an offcut, or a couple of offcuts. Actually, it was one offcut, that. And all I've done with that, and it was a bit warped, so they give it us for £3. And it's 4 feet by 4 feet of the ply. And it should have been, well, it would have been about, I don't know, £12, but I got it for £3. Because it's not totally flat, as you'll see in a sec. It's a bit bellied, a bit bowed, and a little bit wonky. It's not too bad. It's just bowed a bit there. See. So I got it for £3 instead of £12 for the 4 foot square of it. But it's doing the job. Hinged. Got these gate hinges. The only thing that's really cost me is the £3 for this, and then I think that for the pair of these it was £2.50 for 2 of them. And then the screws, well, we already had the screws, so that was okay, but the screws would have probably cost about if you were going to get a little box of them, that would have been about £1.75, but you only needed like sort of, what are they, 14 little screws, which again were the sort of 3/4 inch screws to fix it on with, and then it just flips up like that. The reason it flips up like that is so that you can stack your waste material in here, so your greens and browns in there, they'll go in there. Keep piling it up, and as you pile it up with your browns and your greens, put some more water in it. Keep it topped up with water. That's not going to be an issue from the back there, but too much water might not be good for it. You're not going to get the full benefits if it's totally saturated and wet through with water. Hence the roof. So that goes on there like that, and that's it. So there's as I say, there's the rectangular frame that we've got at the back there, and then the 2 2x1 lengths that go down there. What I may well do is take those screws and replace those screws, because those were the only screws that I had at the time, and as you can see, they're well too long. I'm just a little bit conscious with the kids that they might hurt their heads or whatever on those, so I might take those out and get some smaller screws, maybe 1.5 inch screws, because those are I think 2 3/4, something like that. But that goes down then to the front bit. It's just a basic, I mean, if you look at that, it doesn't even meet there properly. On the other side it does, but not on that side. So I don't know what's gone on there. It does meet nice and flush there, so I might have to adjust that side a little bit, raise it up. I mean, it's not crucial, like it's not, we're not building cabinet furniture, are we? But yeah, there you go. Right, all right. Yeah, so I've raised that up a bit so as it sits better on that side. Underneath there, it sits better now, doesn't it? It's more aesthetically pleasing now to the eye. Yeah, I am a silly sausage, isn't I? Alright, so that's better, isn't it? Now I'm toying with the idea of putting the 1000 gauge sky blue plastic sheet in. That's not easy to say when you're trying to get used to a new tooth. By the way, I have a new tooth. It's like putting a silk hat on a pig. Yeah? So that's better. It's better than it was. So there's the 1000 gauge polythene sheeting. And I'm toying with the idea of putting that polythene sheeting on top of that. Just to give it that weatherproof finish on it. Because that'll still lift up. But I'll staple it on. Staple it onto that. And as you can see, it's got stuff in to rot down. Now I'm going to get the piece of carpet off my mother and fetch that up and throw that on, throw the carpet on top of it, and then you pull the carpet off, keep stocking it up and putting water in it, throw the carpet back on, try and keep that heat in, keep that the breakdown going, but it needs more brown in there, I think. Should be a 50-50 mix roughly of the greens and the browns, the carbon and the nitrogen. So we'll see how we get on with it. I need some more cardboard, I think, for that. Get some cardboard boxes and balls and chuck them on. Look at that there, there's a ticket. I wonder what it is. Let's have a look, see if we can get in it. Until I've found the zoom function, can't you? Don't know what it is. It's escape the pogrom, whatever it is. So anyway, with that, once it all rots down, I can fish it out. We can sift it all out and get the rich black gold out of it. So some of the spent compost is going to get thrown in there as well, that I've got knocking about. I've not got a lot of it left because I've put that in with some different soils and compost into the raised beds. So I've been topping off the raised beds as well over here, because Steve from over the back gave us some soil. He had a load of soil from his strawberry beds. He was taking his strawberry beds out, so he said, oh, you can have the soil if you want. So I got about 3 or 4 barrows off him, big barrows, and young Lewis helped us bring it across. He's a strong lad, very strong lad, young Lewis for 14. I was struggling with a massive full wheelbarrow full of that, because it's quite a dense soil that'll need lightening up a bit. So I'm mixing in some other compost with it, so it'll lighten the soil, and we'll get a good soil out of that, then a good growing medium out of that. Then that's the compost that I've taken out, and I've still got some more compost left from where we had the compost. The compost tower job is over here, these, and as I'm rooting through, I'm finding spuds in it. Because we did have a potato plant growing out the bottom of it. Didn't think anything of it, but there's quite a few spuds. I'm only putting them there for a minute while I just clear it out, and then I'll pick them all up after. It's just so I know where they are and I don't lose them. So yeah, there's some more there to put into the bed. So I'll top them off now, and I may well put some of that compost into the new compost corral as well, just to give that a bit of an head start. Okie doke. So yeah, in this bed, as you can see, it's a lot lighter of a soil than the other one, and I'm going to be putting the garlic that you can see there in it. That's pink Germidor. Now it's the same pink Germidor as we've got in here, which is doing very well. So you've got the Casablanca and the Germidor. I've looked at a couple of these as well, and I don't know what's happened, but there's a couple of twices together. There's 2 twices there. Don't know how that's happened. But yeah, that's what's going to be going into this half of the bed. And then in the other half of the bed, as I've already started doing, I'm putting the onions in, and the Japanese Senshyu, something like that. I forget, because I've mislaid the actual packet. So, but as I rooted through them, there was about 50 bulbs in there, something like that. And out of that 50 bulbs, those 50 bulbs, I've only managed to keep how many were there now? 32, I think, that were kind of viable, which were these ones. They're all firm and relatively sizable bulbs, and they're going in there. They've already started to put them in, as you can see. They just left the little noses sticking out on a couple of them in them rows. But they're about 8 inches apart. These ones are about the same. There's seven aside of the Germidor, so in total there'll be 28 of them, and there's 8 of the onions, the Senshyu, whatever they're called, Japanese onions, going in there, and they're not going to be buried as deeply as the Germidor, because what we did with the garlic is we probably not buried it deep enough. It was like a thumb's depth, whereas it should be longer than that. It should be about, say, 3 to 4 inches apparently over winter going in the ground. But obviously I didn't do that, but I am doing that on this side. So I've made me holes with the post there. Now they're only, as I say, they're not massively deep. They're 4 inches ish, 3 to 4 inches deep, and that's where they're going in there. So I'll do that now and then come back to you. All right.